Well, you've had some success. You've been pressing the Labor government there to change the laws, and they've recently changed some bail laws. What more needs to change? Because clearly, in some parts of the state, youth crime is out of control.
So much more needs to change, Chris, and we produced documents that showed just how chaotic the whole process was in cobbling together these laws. It was never about a genuinely engaged process. It was a knee-jerk reaction to a political problem the government had. And I'm going to keep talking about our solutions because it does need a proper, heartfelt, decent engagement, and it needs consequences for actions. We've got to put the rights of the victims ahead of the rights of the perpetrators. We've got to unshackle the judiciary. This nonsense of detention being a last resort is just, it's crazy. It makes no sense, and it has to be removed from the Act. And it really needs a gold standard early intervention because it's not happening at the moment. And we've just got a pipeline, a generation of these kids who just know that their rights are greater than the rights of the victim. And I come back to a point in time where 8 years ago, one of the first things the government did when it was elected is it watered down the Youth Justice Act. Well, what did we think was going to happen? Well, I'll tell you what's happened. A pipeline where young kids have just worked out and they've looked up to the next generation of offenders, and it's just gone round and round in circles. So we've got to deal with the here and now. We've got kids who are bad kids and they've got to be held accountable. But we've also got to do something to stop that pipeline. And at the moment, the government can't tell you what's working in the early intervention space and what's not. And when it comes to those laws, while you have laws that detention has to be a last resort, well, that merry-go-round will continue to go round and round in circles. You mentioned we had some wins on behalf of Queensland. We did. We got rid of that nonsense of breach of bail not being an offence in the Youth Justice Act. But we've consistently said there are so many more facets to this. And it's as though the government just wanted to get this off their plate, just deal with it and just say, oh, well, here's a package of reforms. That's not what good governments do. They listen, they reflect, they actually hear the emotion in the community. And to know what the Wide Bay community is going through again, not just Queenslanders there in what is a really tight-knit part of the state, but every Queenslander looks at this today and there's just a sense of complete disbelief about it all.
It is just shocking, David. It is just shocking. Thank you so much for talking to us about it today. David Crisafulli there, the Queensland opposition leader, and the Labor government in Queensland has got to stop viewing this in a partisan political way and being defensive about it. What the opposition is talking about is a real problem in that state. The government needs to sit down with the opposition, with the police, with communities, and work out ways to get on top of this problem. 3 innocent lives taken today. Just horrific. Last night, sorry. 3 innocent lives last night.